Hello everyone. In research methodology topic certificate course, my today's topic is sampling techniques. For TYBSc students, myself Mr. Chandrasekhar Swami, Department of Statistics, Tuljaram Chaturchand College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Baramati. Today I am presenting my topic and my outline of the talk is types of the data, population and sample, sampling methods, probability sampling method, non-probability sampling method, survey, data analysis techniques. Moving towards the types of data, basically there are two types of data. One is primary data and another is secondary data. Primary data means that data which is collected by the researcher for their own purpose, and he is analyzing that data on the basis of their objectives. And the second type is secondary data. It is the data which is already collected by some agencies, some softwares, some researchers, and we are analyzing the already collected data. That is called secondary data. Okay, and every statistical data can be classified by two things. One is variable and another is constant. Variable is again classified into two categories. One is attribute and quantitative variable. And the variable which is quantitative type variable is again classified into two categories. One is discrete and continuous. We are clear these types of data. While studying any phenomena, we come across two types of characteristics. Any phenomena of the under study has two types of characteristics. One is constant characteristic and another is variable. A characteristic which does not change its value is considered as constant. For example, suppose height of a person after 20 years. Okay, as we know, the height of any person is remains constant after some age. But if we are considering instead of height, if we are considering the weight of a person, then it changes year by year, month by month. Okay, so it means a characteristic which changes their values. Such a characteristic, which characteristic here I am discussing, the weight of a person. Okay, this characteristic is what changes its values. Okay, so such characteristics are called variable, and a characteristic which I discussed, what height of a person after 20 years. Okay, so it is remains constant. Okay, so this characteristic does not change its value, height of a person, so it's a constant characteristic. And weight of a person changes its value, so therefore we are calling or classified this characteristic in a variable type category. Okay, quantitative, again variables are classified into two categories. One is qualitative and quantitative variable. Generally, qualitative variables are also called as attribute. Okay, the variable which is qualitative type. Qualitative type means what? For example, examination result of a candidate recorded as either pass or fail. Okay, it is a qualitative type variable. Okay, and instead of the result is recorded as pass or fail, if we are expressing the performance of a candidate in their percentage of marks, then it is what? Then this characteristic is what? Quantitative type variable, means the variable which is expressed in the form of a numerical type variable. Then such a type you can call it as a quantitative variable. And the variables which is categorized or grouped by using some quality of that phenomena. So such a variable is called as qualitative variable, and such a qualitative variables are also called as attribute. Okay, so any attributes or variables can be measured by four types of scales. One is nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval scale, and ratio scale. What is attribute? Attribute is a variable which is qualitative type variable. And the variable here, just I am calling a variable. Variable is treated for what? Quantitative type variable. Quantitative type variable is simply called as a variable, and qualitative type variables are called as a attributes. Okay, a qualitative characteristic like gender, nationality, religion, grade in examination, blood group, qualification, occupations, these are some characteristics which is qualitative type variables, and they are also called as a attribute. Okay, suppose a certain class, suppose TYBSc class students, I want to classify these students, and I want to just label uh, the characteristic for each student by their gender. Okay, so there are two types we are considering. One is male and female. Okay, in case of nationality, suppose now Tokyo Olympic, in a Tokyo Olympic there are too many players has gathered from different nations for representing their nations. Okay, so we are categorized or classifying these players by their nationality or religion, you can say. You can classify them by their blood groups also. uh, Suppose some group of peoples, no, some people are classified their qualification or occupation. Okay, qualification may be below 10 or 10th, or they may be graduated or post graduated. Okay, they may be doctorate or engineer. Okay, accordingly we are classifying the peoples. Okay, people, occupation wise also we can classify. Okay, so such a type of variables can be measured uh, by two scales. One is nominal scale and another is ordinal scale. Okay, attribute types of variables are generally measured by using either nominal scale or ordinal scale. So what is mean by nominal scale? A nominal scale consists of two or more named categories into which the objects are classified. For example, classification of individuals using their gender, nationality, blood group, qualification, occupation, mobile number, house number, pin code number, okay, survey number, or ward number, voter ID number. So these are the some nominal scaled attributes. Okay, means what? Here we are just classifying the things not on the basis of their order. Okay, suppose even though the mobile number, pin code, or STD code of a certain district or city, even though they are some in numerical numbers, still they are called as a attribute types, because it just representing the group of city, or pin code is representing a very identifying the city. Okay, or survey number, mobile number. Okay, they are unique. Okay, they have no any meaning for this mobile number. They every mobile number is a unique mobile number. Everyone has a unique mobile number. There is no any number, two numbers uh, using the two different peoples. Okay, so these are called what? Nominal scale measurement. And another scale is ordinal scale. What is meant by ordinal scale? Ordinal scale of measurement gives the number of groups of objects using some quantifiable characteristics. Therefore, ordered arrangement of group is possible in this scale. For example, group of individuals according to their income. Okay, group of individuals according to their income. Okay, income may be below 10,000 per annum per month, below 10,000 to 50,000 per month, 50,000 to 1 lakh per month. Okay, and accordingly we are classifying the peoples accordingly, such type of groups. Okay, so this type of scale of ordering or classifying the things or group of peoples, such a scale is called what? Ordinal scale. One another example is given here: group of individuals according to their income, such as poor, middle class, rich class. Okay, or I said no, below 10,000 per month salary, or or income of a family is below 10,000, 10,000 to 50,000 per month, and so on. Okay, so group of students according to their grades. Okay, first class, second class, third class, pass class, and fail. So these are also some grades, or these are also the groups. But in this group we are classifying the objectives or individuals by some certain order, meaningful order. Okay, here in the second example we are classifying or ordering the students by their performance or percentage. Okay, in the first group, in the first example, we are classifying the peoples or families according to their income. Okay, they may be poor, middle class, or rich class. Such kinds of scales are called ordinal scales. Okay, now we are moving towards variables. The quantitative variables like weight of a person, examination marks, population of a country, profit of a salesman, etc. are called what? Variable. Variables are measured using interval scale or ratio scale. Okay, every variable can be classified or it can be measured by either by using interval scale or by ratio scale. What is meant by interval scale? Interval scale of measurement has equal unit of measurement. However, zero is arbitrary. Equal unit of measurement. Here I am saying. Okay, and the ratio scale is a ratio scale of measurement has equal units of measurement, and those are taken from a true zero. Okay, in the interval scale, here I am saying 0 point is arbitrary, and in ratio scale, here I am saying true value of zero. Means, suppose for a certain city, the temperature of that city is 0 degrees Celsius. Okay, 0 degrees Celsius, it does not mean that that city has no any temperature. Okay, or there is an absence of temperature. Okay, 0 degrees Celsius, it has some own meaning that but it does not mean that in that place or that city does not have a temperature. Okay, but instead of 0 degrees Celsius, if I am saying a student getting 0 marks, so it means he is getting nothing. He is not performing in the examination. That's why he is getting 0 marks. Okay, so here the value 0 has meaning, and it takes the value as a true value as a 0. Okay, in the ratio scale measurement. For example, measurement of a measurements of types of weight in kg. Okay, height, centimeter, time, hours. Okay, these are some ratio scales. It can be clearly noticed that the variables can be measured by numbers. Further, the variables can be divided into two categories. One is discrete variables and another is continuous variable. What is meant by discrete and continuous variable? If the variable considering the numerical value distinctly, such as 1, 2, 3, okay, distinctly they are taking the values. For example, number of accidents on a certain highway, national highway. So here we are saying that today on the Pune Solapur highway or Pune Mumbai highway, there is only one accident has occurred or five accident has occurred. Okay, so number of accident means there are distinct values is to be considered. Okay, so this value considers the distinct value. So such a type of variable is called discrete type of variable. It taking only a particular value. Okay, we are not saying that today there is a 1.5 number of accident has occurred or 1.367 1.367 number of accident has occurred. Okay, we are not saying like this. It is either one accident has occurred or two accident has occurred. Okay, nothing in between one and two. Okay, so such kind of variables we are calling or considering classifying as a discrete type variable. And another type of variable is continuous variable. So taking it takes all the possible values in a certain range. Okay, if suppose I am consider saying that room temperature of a certain city has between 10 degrees Celsius to 36 degrees Celsius. Okay, certain city, suppose in a Baramati city, the maximum room temperature is 36 degrees Celsius and the minimum room temperature is 10 degrees Celsius. So it means that the room temperature of a Baramati city takes all possible values between 10 degrees Celsius to 36 degrees Celsius, because from 10 degrees Celsius it goes on increasing and it reaches at 36 degrees Celsius. And it does not mean that at certain time it was 10 degrees Celsius, after some hours it becomes 11 directly of 11 degrees Celsius and then 12 degrees Celsius. Okay, it does not like that. It takes all possible values between 10 degrees Celsius to 36 degrees Celsius. So such kind of variable is called as a continuous type of variable. Okay, so these are the types of variables. Now coming towards the sampling methods. Today's my topic is sampling methods or sampling techniques. Here sampling is to be done and we are collecting the information and we are collecting the observation, we are collecting some data from the population. Okay, for that which type of datas are there we have discussed. Now now we are considering population and sample. What is meant by population and what is meant by sample? Okay, the dictionary meaning of population, it means that the number of person or number of people of a certain city, or you can say village, or some college or some country. That means what? Population. Number of people means what? Population. But in the statistics, the population word has the population word has meaning in a wider sense. What is meant by population? It may be a number of books or all types of books in a library. Okay, all types of trees in a certain forest. Okay, all types of insects or some bacterias in some plates. Okay, this is what it is, a population. Population means an aggregate or totality of units or individuals under study is called as statistical population. Okay, the number of units containing in the population is called as size of a population, and it is generally denoted by capital N. Okay, size of a population is generally denoted by capital N. What is meant by size? Size means number of units contained in that population. That units may be person, that unit may be tree, that unit may be books. Okay, number of books in a TC college library, number of students in TC college campus, number of employees in certain company. Okay, number of uh, players number of players participated in Tokyo Olympic. Okay, so these are our what population. Okay, and what is so there are while studying these population means while studying these units, every unit cannot be studied. Okay, or it is not possible every time. It is not possible to study each and every unit and come to the final conclusion or final inference. It is not possible or it is quite difficult. Okay, if you are studying each and every unit of your population, then such a type of study is called census method. The method of collecting the information on each and every unit of the population is called as what? Census, or it is called complete enumeration. Okay, here you are studying every unit in the population, and the complement of this word or this method is what? Sample. Okay, it is a just small representative group of units of from the population. Okay, small representative group. Here I am saying what? Representative group of units from the population is called as sample. Okay, the procedure of drawing a sample is called as sampling. The procedure of drawing the sample is called sampling. Okay, so there are two very basic terminology or notations or words is used while studying the sampling techniques. Okay, one is sampling unit and another is sampling frame. Okay, what is meant by sampling unit? A member or element of the population are called as sampling units. Member, unit, element of an individual element, you can say, of a population are called as what? Sampling unit. Suppose I am considering the example, all the books in our library, in TC College library. Okay, it may be textbook, it may be novels, it may be research books, it may be some reference books, it may be some thesis of a PhD scholars, it may be some spiritual books, it may be some novels are there. Okay, so each and every book can be treated as what? Sampling unit. Okay, each and every book in the library is considered as what? Sampling unit. If I am considering the example or my population is all the students in TC college, all the students in the TC college. Okay, so each and every student is my sampling unit. Each and every student. So that student may be of arts faculty student, science faculty student, so commerce faculty student. He may be first year student, second year, third year, postgraduate student. Okay, so each and every class, the student is considered as what? Sampling unit, because here I am considering my population as a TC college. Okay, the student who has enrolled or he who has taken the admission for the academic year in the TC college. Okay, so each and every student is considered as what? Sampling unit. And the sampling frame, it is an exhaustive list or map of all members or element of the population. Okay, it is an exhaustive list means what? Here now I have considered two examples. One is all the books in a library or all the students in the TC college. Okay, if you go to the library and you supposed to ask the librarian, please give me the list of all the books available in our TC college library, so he can produce or he can give you the list of all the books. Okay, so such a list is called as what? Sampling frame. Such a list, in the statistical language, in the statistical terminology, we are calling this list as a what? Sampling frame. In another example, this all the students of the TC college, so all the list of students who are taking the admission for this academic year 2021-22. Okay, so list of all these students is called as what? Sampling frame. Okay, if you visit to a Talati office and if you ask them, give me the list or give me the map of Baramati city, give me the road map in the Baramati city. Please give me the map of rivers in the India. Okay, please give me the map of all the countries. Okay, so these are called as what? Sampling free. Okay, it is depending on what is you are considering as a your population. Okay, so this is our what? Sampling free. Okay, just now I have discussed two method of studying or getting the information from the population. Okay, so there are basically two types we have discussed. One is census method, another is sampling method. What is meant by census method? In the census method, each and every individual has studied the all information of the each and every individuals is collected, and such type of method of collecting the information is called census method. Okay, and the small group of elements of a population is to be collected, so such a group is called as what? Sample. And the procedure of drawing this sample is called as what? Sampling. Okay, so while studying the studying the population by using census method, there are so many disadvantages or limitations are there. Okay, and there is too many advantages of using the sampling method over the census method. Okay, suppose I want to test the blood of a certain of a particular person. Okay, it is not possible to test each and every drop of blood in the body. Okay, it is not possible. For that purpose we are taking some few ml amount of or few amount of blood from the body, and we are testing the testing that blood, and we are inferring or we are getting the information and giving this information to the whole body. Okay, whole blood in the body. Okay, so this is what sample. In this case we cannot use census method. We cannot test the each and every drop of blood of a any person. So in this case we have to use what? Sampling method. Okay, so what is the advantage of sampling over the census? First is sample is a study of small unit of representative group of the units from the population, so that's why it requires so less number of less number of units to be compared. Okay, as compared to census, so there is considerably reduction in the time required to collect the information. Okay, hence the result can be obtained quickly with the help of sample, as it saves time. Okay, so this is the first advantage of sampling. Second one is cost. While you are collecting the data, you have to uh, hire some person, or you can give some money to some agencies and tell them to please collect this data for me. Okay, and for that you have to pay some amount. Okay, if you are collecting each and every element from the population, if you are studying getting information each and every element from the population, then it requires huge amount of cost. Okay, and instead of that, if you are using the sampling method, then it requires obviously less amount of cost. Okay, because of the size, the cost required to collect the information on sample is very less as compared to what? Census. So sampling is what? Economically easy. So another advantage is accuracy. While you, even though you are testing and getting the information each and every element, it is quite possible that after some time, because it is your population, if your population size is too huge, okay, and if you are collecting the information from each and every sampling unit, then after certain time the agency to whom you are hire hiring for getting the information, that agency may do some errors while collecting the data. Okay, or they maybe uh, uh, ignores the things, and they can read self selfly regenerate the data. Only limited number of units if you are investigating in the sampling, and so accuracy will be increased. Okay, if you are considering the very few amount of units from the population, and getting the information from that small amount of group or unit, then the information is collected more accurately. Okay, the volume of the work is less in sampling, so it can be completed efficiently. Okay, it has a wider scope. Sampling has what? Wider scope. If the population size is very large, census is impracticable. Or in testing the destructive items, there is no alternative to sampling. Okay, if you are, suppose you are studying the effect of atom bombs. Okay, and you suppose you are producing 100 atom bombs, and you want to test the quality of your atom bomb. And if you are testing each and every atom bomb, then nothing in your hand to sell. Okay, so in this case, sampling method is a very effective technique for getting the information. Okay, just you test two or three atom bombs, and you can conclude that whether your atom bomb quality is good or bad. Okay, and suppose if you are testing the lifetime of a electric bulb, and if you are testing each and every electric bulb, then nothing in your hand to sell, because you are testing each and every bulb. That means uh, every bulb has failed after some time. Okay, after your complete study. So this, in this case also, there is no alternative to the sampling. In the testing human blood, here also census method is not possible. In testing the strength of a bomb, in testing quality of glassware items. Okay, so in these cases there is no alternative to what? Sampling. In this case, sampling is the best technique instead of census method. So here we have discussed the advantage of this sampling. Now see the procedure of sampling. The accuracy of our investigation depends on how representative is our sample. Okay, in the definition of sample, I have for I told you the representative group of the items is called what? Sample. If your items selected in your sample is not representative, it is not good representative of your population, then your inference on the population is not correct. Okay, so for getting the accuracy of the result, or for getting the accurate investigation, depends on how representative is your sample. Okay, is our sample. For this, the sample has to be random sample. Okay, uh, representative sample, for getting the representative sample, we have to use what? Random sample, which is free from any deliberate or bias selection. Okay, deliberately we are, if we are selecting the some sampling unit in our sample deliberately or under some bias, then that sample is not good representative of our sample, and then the result may be wrong. Okay, thus the sample must be proper representative of the sample. A proper care must be taken to draw a sample from the population. To draw sample, many procedures are developed. Okay, so in the sampling method, there are basically two types of sampling methods. One is probability sampling method. One is probability sampling method, and another is non-probability sampling method. One is probability sampling method, and another is, this is probability sampling method, this is non-probability sampling method. In the probability sampling method, in this lecture, I am considering four types. One is simple random sampling, cluster random sampling, systematic random sampling, stratified random sampling. Okay, and in the non-probability sampling method, here I am considering convenience sampling, judgmental or purposive sampling, snowball sampling, and quota sampling. Okay, these eight types of sampling methods we are going to discuss here. Okay, let's consider the first sampling method, that is simple random sampling. A simple random sample is a subset of statistical population in which each member of the subset has an equal probability of being chosen. A simple random sample is meant to be an unbiased representation of a group. The principle of simple random sampling is that every object has the same probability of being chosen. Suppose in your population there are total capital N number of elements are there. Okay, so in these capital N number of items, so probability of selecting any of the item in your sample is 1 upon capital N. Okay, so each and every element has probability of getting selected in the sample is what? 1 upon n. Okay, so then such a sampling technique is called what? Simple random sampling. If you are considering unequal probability of getting selected in the sample based on their size or their importance or their weightage, so such a that type of sampling method is different. We are not going to discuss this method here. Okay, just consider that each and every population unit or a sampling unit getting selected in the sample has equal probability. Okay, so again there are two types. One is simple random sampling without replacement and simple random sampling with replacement. Okay, now without replacement means what? Suppose I have a lot of bulbs. Okay, suppose I have a box in which I have suppose 100 number of electric bulbs. Okay, if I want to test the lifetime of electric bulb, so I am selecting randomly one bulb. uh, I plugged that bulb in the switchboard and I'm testing their lifetime. Okay, so after studying this bulb, I'm not replacing back to the population again. So such, and I'm without replacing to the box, I'm getting another bulb as a sample. I'm selecting another bulb as a sample without replacing the previous element. Okay, so such a type of method, sampling method is called as what? Simple random sampling without replacement. We are not replacing. Okay, and the another method is simple random sampling with replacement. Suppose I want to test the mileage of a bike. Suppose I have 10 bikes. Okay, all bikes of the same brand. Okay, suppose Pulsar, I have a Pulsar bike. Suppose I have 10 Pulsars. I want to test the mileage of that Pulsar. Okay, I will take, I'm selecting randomly from that out of 10 bikes and I will test their mileage. Okay, again I will replace that bike in the that remaining if I'm drawing one randomly selected bike, then there is a remaining 9 bikes in the parking. After studying the mileage of the first bike, I'm replacing it in the parking and again I'm getting selecting one randomly. I'm selecting bike randomly from the again in the 10 bikes. Okay, so such a type of selection or such a type of sampling is what? Simple random sampling with replacement. because after studying the individual element, we are replacing it, that element, into the population, and there is a chance of again selection of the same unit in the next sample. Okay, so such a sampling method is called as what? Simple random sampling with replacement. Okay, now next procedure or next type is what? Stratified sampling. Okay, in the simple random sampling, generally the all elements in the in the population is to be homogeneous. Homogeneous means, as I said in the previous example, suppose I have 10 bikes, all bikes of the same brand, Pulsar bike, I am considered. Okay, so in that case, I have to use simple random sample. Okay, but suppose instead of same number of same branded bike or same company bike, if I have different bikes, okay, suppose I have unicorn, pulsar, okay, then suppose I have access, activa, jupiter, okay, and I want to test its mileage. Okay, every brand has more than two number of bikes. Okay, so here I cannot use, or it is not that much of convenient sampling method as a simple random sampling. Okay, in that case we have to use stratified random sampling. Okay, here we have considered the population of the heterogeneous means what? Non-homogeneous means the elements of the different types. Okay, there are triangles, plus, star, circle, and squares are there. Okay, these are the some unit, and they are randomly scattered in our population. Okay, while selecting the element from the population, first we are making a group of the same categories. Okay, I have done here the one group which are of the circle type. Okay, second group is of the all triangles, third group as a all stars, fourth one is as a all plus elements. Okay, and this is a squares. Okay, now these groups are called as stratum. This is the first stratum, this is second stratum, fourth stratum. Okay, and collectively all these are called as our strata. Okay, and after doing this, after doing this group, now I am selecting the element randomly from each and every element, or from each and every group. In the first group I am getting here suppose four number of elements. In the second group, from the second group, here I am selecting three elements. From the third group I am selecting two elements. From the fourth group, here I am selecting three elements, and the last group I am getting here two elements. Okay, and this is my sample. Okay, this is my sample, and so this sampling procedure is called as what? Stratified sampling. Okay, so when the population is not homogeneous, SRS means simple random sampling is not effective, because some parts of the population may be uh, rep- uh, overrepresented. Okay, if you are selected the random sample directly from this, and it may possible that in the sample, if you are using the simple random sampling, so it may be possible that there is nothing, circle element has not be covered in our sample. Okay, or it may be possible that only all the squares are selected in our sample, nothing or other elements are selected, so such a sample is not good representative of our sample. Okay, so to overcome this limitation or drawback, first I have to do what? Grouping. Okay, so I have doing the homogeneous groups. So this is one homogeneous group, this is another some homogeneous group, and so on. And from each group, here I am getting some number of elements are selected. So such a sampling procedure is called as what? Random sampling. Next method is systematic random sampling. In the systematic random sampling, suppose I have capital N number of elements. Okay, here I have considered N means suppose I have 10 number of elements in my population. Suppose I have a capital N is equals to 10 number of elements. Okay, so I have made groups of two people. Okay, two persons group. Okay, in the first group I have two persons. In another second group I have again two persons. In the next second group I have again next two persons, and so on. So in this way, I have done how many groups? One, two, three, four, five numbers, five number of groups. Okay. So suppose if I want to draw n small n is equals to suppose five number of elements is to be selected in my sample. Then from the first group, I am selecting one person randomly. Okay. In the first group, how many persons are there? One and two. Okay, so from 1 and 2, suppose I am selected second person as a random sample. Okay, so second person has selected. Then remaining from the remaining group, I am selected in this group. Again, I am getting the second person considered as a sample. Second, in the third group, again I am considering second element as my sample, selected sample. Okay, in the fourth group also I am second element I am considering as a sample. Okay, so such a procedure of drawing the sample is called as what? Systematic random sampling. Now cluster random sampling. Again, in the cluster random sampling, your population is what? Heterogeneous type. Okay, they are not homogeneous. Okay, so in this case, again we are doing the grouping. Okay, and in this group, the all the element, every group are what? Heterogeneous. This group contains all the types of characteristics, values, okay, or observations. Okay, and in the stratified sampling we have made group of homogeneous type. Okay, in the clustering we are doing heterogeneous groups. Okay, and in the stratified sampling we are selecting the random sample from each and every strata or group. Okay, in the cluster sampling just we are taking any few of the group as a complete sample in our sample. Okay, so this first group we are getting as a sample. Okay, this second group, this is cluster number 4. Okay, this fourth group is considered in my sample which contains three person. So here you can say see three persons, and the fifth cluster is also getting selected in my sample. Okay, the cluster number 3 and 2, from the cluster number 3 and 2 I am not selecting the sample. Okay, so such a procedure is called as what? Cluster sampling. Sometimes population consists of several groups which are convenient to use as a sampling unit. Okay, that group itself, it is convenient to consider as a sampling unit, and we are selecting that group as our sample. Okay, so these groups are called as what? Clusters. Okay, the cluster sampling, we consider cluster as a sampling unit and choose simple random sample of these clusters. Out of these 5 clusters, I am selecting one cluster randomly by using simple random sampling procedure. For example, in order to conduct survey of a village, we take a family as a unit. Okay, complete family as a unit instead of each and every element, every person as a element. The whole family I am considering as what? My cluster. Okay, that complete family is my cluster, and I'm selecting that family. That means I'm selecting that cluster in my observation or in my study. We collect information each member in the family rather than collecting information individuals. Okay, in this case family plays a role of cluster. Okay, so this is all these types of what? Probability sampling. Why it is called probability sampling? Because in the systematic sampling or simple random sampling or stratified random sampling or cluster sampling, the sampling frame is available, the sampling unit, the sampling unit, the population, sorry, the sampling frame, you have sampling frame available. Okay, if you don't have sampling frame, it is not possible to use probability sampling method. Okay, probability sampling is not possible to conduct. Okay, now consider non-probability sampling. In the non-probability sampling, the first type is what? Convenient sampling. Okay, if you are visiting some malls, okay, if you have already visited some malls, then you might have experienced that some persons are asking you question, excuse me sir or madam, do you have some time, just give me fill up this my questionnaire and give my answers to my questions. Okay, and the that person is selecting the person as per their convenience. Those who are willingly give the answers of their questions. Okay, so such a sampling method is called as what? Convenience sampling. Why it is called convenience? Because the researchers, the sample is selected by the convenience of the researcher. Okay, a convenience sample is a type of non-probability sampling method where the sample is taken from a group of people easy to contact or to reach. For example, standing at a mall or a grocery store and asking people to answer the questions would be an example of what? Convenience sample. Okay, and another one is purposive sampling or judgmental sampling. A purposive sample also referred to as judgmental sample. Okay, purposive sampling लाच दुसरं नाव आहे judgmental sample. It is a type, it is a non-probability sampling method. The main objective of a purposive sample is to produce a sample that can be logically assumed to be representative of the population. Okay, suppose I want to make a cricket team from our who the team who represent the TC college, and that team is playing at university level. Okay, so for selecting the cricketers for doing the cricket team, we are selecting the students or players purposively, the who is good in batting, the player who has good in wicket keeping and bowling. Okay, only those players we are selected. In this case, the simple random sampling or certified random sampling is not possible, or it is not good thing. Okay, if you are doing the cricket team like this by using simple random sampling or certified or any probability sampling method, so that team might be lost the cricket match. Okay, so sorry, so to prepare a good team, you have to select the sample of 11 players who are good in cricket. Okay, so that's why you are selecting the sample purposively, or by your judgment you are considering or assumed that that player is a good representative of the population for cricket. Okay, the researchers chooses the sample based on who they think would be appropriate for the study, would be appropriate for the cricket. Okay, in this way we are doing the sampling, and such a sampling method or procedure is called as what? Purposive sampling. Now snowball sampling. Now in all of you and the whole world is suffering from the pandemic corona COVID-19. Okay, so here we are tracing some corona positive affected patient, and based on that patient we are tracing the next possible sample unit we are tracing. Okay, for example, suppose I am positive, corona positive patient. I am my corona report is positive. Then my next question, the question is asked to that patient is, in the last 15 days, how many persons are in your contact? Okay, so you are going to test all those peoples. Okay, or for example, in your family members, in your society, in your apartment, the peoples are tested. Okay, and the next corona positive patients are come into our picture. Okay, so such a sampling method is what? Snowball sampling method. Okay, sample group is said to grow like a rolling snowball. Rolling snowball म्हणजे बर्फाच्छादित जे काही प्रदेश असतात किंवा पर्वत वगैरे त्या साईडला, जिथे हिमालयात वगैरे आपण म्हणूयात, की त्या ठिकाणी समजा एका छोटासा तुम्ही बर्फाचा गोळा तयार केलात आणि तो असं वरून एखाद्या अशा उतारावरती जर तो सोडून दिला, तो बर्फाचा गोळा असा रोल करायला सोडून दिला, तर ते काय होतं, ते रोल होत 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 तुम्ही छोटासा गोळा केलेला असतो तुमच्या क्रिकेटच्या बॉल एवढा समजा गोल केलेला असेल बॉल, आणि जर तो तुम्ही बर्फाच्या ह्याच्यावरून जर सोडलात आणि तो जर रोल होत होत डोंगरावरून जर खाली येत असेल, तर तो काय करतो, त्याच्या आजूबाजूचा जे काही बर्फ आहे त्या बॉलला ते चिकटत चिकटत तो बॉल मोठा मोठा होत जातो आणि तो खूप मोठा होऊन जातो. ओके, फुटबॉलपेक्षाही मोठा, खूपच खाली जात असेल तर तो खूप मोठा असा बॉल होतो आणि त्या टाईपच्या बॉलला या ठिकाणी स्नोबॉल असं म्हणतात, रोलिंग स्नोबॉल. म्हणून या टाईपच्या सॅम्पलिंगला स्नोबॉल सॅम्पलिंग असं म्हणतात. ओके, दिस सॅम्पलिंग टेक्निक इज ऑफन युज्ड इन हिडन पॉप्युलेशन. ही जी सॅम्पलिंग टेक्निक आहे, ज्यामध्ये पॉप्युलेशन मधले जे काही रिप्रेझेंटेटिव्ह आहेत, ज्यांना आपण रिप्रेझेंटेटिव्ह युनिट म्हणणार आहोत पॉप्युलेशनच्या, आपल्या स्टडीसाठी रिप्रेझेंटेटिव्ह असणारे जे काही सॅम्पलिंग युनिट आहेत पॉप्युलेशन मधले, ते हिडन मध्ये असतात. अशांना आपल्याला काय करायचं असतं, शोधून काढायचं असतं. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, सच अ ड्रग युजर्स. ओके, जर तुम्ही कुणाला जर असं रॅन्डमली फिरणाऱ्यांना जर विचारलं, पर्पजिव्ह सॅम्पलिंग किंवा कन्व्हिनियन्स सॅम्पलिंगनी जर तुम्ही त्या ठिकाणी जर करायचं म्हणालात आणि मला तुम्हाला स्टडी करायचं की हु आर द ड्रग युजर्स. ओके, तर तुम्ही जर रॅन्डमली कुणालाही जर विचारलं तर ते नाहीच म्हणणार, जरी घेणारे असतील तरी. ओके, सो दिस इज व्हेरी सेन्सिटिव्ह अँड व्हेरी डिफिकल्ट, इट इज व्हेरी डिफिकल्ट टू कॅच सच अ युनिट्स. ओके, मग ड्रग युजर्स असतील किंवा सेक्स वर्कर्स असतील, विच आर डिफिकल्ट फॉर रिसर्चर्स टू ऍक्सेस. ओके, अशांना ट्रेस करणं आणि त्यांना आयडेंटिफाय करून त्यांच्या थ्रू आपण, एखादा जर ड्रग युजर जर तुम्हाला आयडेंटिफाय झाला, तर तुम्ही त्याच्या मदतीने त्याला त्याच्या कलेने त्याच्याकडून इन्फॉर्मेशन काढून घेऊन त्याच्या बरोबर आणखीन कोण कोण आहेत ड्रग युजर्स तुझ्या कॉन्टॅक्टमध्ये, तुला माहिती असणाऱ्यांपैकी, अशा पद्धतीने तुम्ही तुमचा पुढचा सॅम्पलिंग युनिट सिलेक्ट करू शकता. ओके, एखादा सेक्स वर्कर असेल तर त्या ठिकाणी त्याला तुम्ही त्याच्याकडून इन्फॉर्मेशन कलेक्ट करून नेक्स्ट सेक्स वर्कर कोणी असतील तर ते ओपनली जर तुम्ही कुणाला जरी विचारलं तर दे आर नॉट गिव्ह द करेक्ट आन्सर्स. ओके, सो अशा वेळेस तुम्हाला काय करावं लागतं, स्नोबॉल सॅम्पलिंग. म्हणजे तुम्हाला पहिला युनिट, जर तुम्हाला सगळ्यात डिफिकल्ट काम आहे की तुमचं पहिलं युनिट अप्रोप्रिएट प्रेझेंटेशन, तुमच्या स्टडीला रिप्रेझेंट करणारा पहिला जो युनिट आहे तो आयडेंटिफाय करणं. एकदा का तो पेशंट तुम्हाला आयडेंटिफाय झाला की त्याच्या थ्रू तुम्हाला समजा 2 पेशंट मिळाले, मग पुन्हा या दुसऱ्या पेशंट कडून तुम्ही पुन्हा त्याच्याकडून तुम्ही पुढचे नेक्स्ट काही पेशंट्सना तुम्ही ट्रेस करू शकता, त्याच्या नेक्स्ट पेशंटला तुम्ही ट्रेस करू शकता, अशा पद्धतीने. ओके, आता फॉर एक्झाम्पल, आता हे झालं सेक्स युजर किंवा ड्रग युजर्सच्या एक्झाम्पल्सच्या केसेसमध्ये. आता डेली लाईफमध्ये जरी आणखीन एक दुसरं एक्झाम्पल घ्यायचं जर झालं, आता आजकाल जे काही लाईफ आहे ते धावपळीच्या जीवनामध्ये वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारचे आजार येत आहेत. त्या ठिकाणी कोरोनाचं एक मी तुम्हाला एक्झाम्पल सांगितलं. कोणी तुम्हाला त्या ठिकाणी डायरेक्टली म्हणणार नाही की मला पूर्वी अगदी सुरुवातीच्या पहिल्या लाटेमध्ये वगैरे जर म्हणायचं जर झालं, तर कोणी विलिंगली जात नव्हते की माझी टेस्ट करा आणि मी कोरोना पॉझिटिव्ह आहे का ते टेस्ट करा वगैरे म्हणून. आजकाल थोडेसे लोक अवेअर झालेले आहेत आणि स्वतःला थोडेफार सिम्पटम्स दिसले की ते स्वतःहून टेस्ट करायला जातात, अशी काही आपल्याला आता माणसं दिसतात. परंतु अगदी पूर्वीच्या पहिल्या स्टार्टिंगला जेव्हा कोरोनाचा सुरू झाला त्यावेळेस मात्र आपल्याला पहिला पेशंट मिळाला की तो कोणत्या लोकांच्या संपर्कात आलेला आहे त्या माणसांना बघून ते ट्रेस केलं जायचं आणि त्यावरून टेस्टिंग वाढवायचे. मग टेस्टिंग वाढलं की नंतर तुमचे आकडे वाढायला लागले वगैरे अशा अशा प्रकारचे आपण न्यूज ऐकलेलेच आहे. तर अशा पद्धतीने हे सॅम्पलिंग टेक्निक ही काय केली जाते, वापरली जाते. ओके, एक्झाम्पल्स इन्क्लूड्स द यूज ऑफ इलिगल सबस्टन्सेस, unprescribed drugs, collection of illegal materials, okay, unlicensed weapons, exclusion from majority society, or fear of exposure or shaming makes it is difficult to contact participants through usual means. ओके, म्हणून अशा सिच्युएशन मध्ये स्नोबॉल सॅम्पलिंग म्हणजे तुम्हाला एक छोटासा जरी तुम्ही स्नोचा बॉल म्हणजे तुम्ही बर्फाचा गोळा तयार केला आणि जर तो तुम्ही त्या डोंगराच्या वरच्या भागावरून जर तुम्ही खाली सोडून दिलात तर तो काय करतो, तो आजूबाजूचा संपूर्ण जे काही बर्फ असतं लूज असलेलं तो स्वतःच्या भोवती गोळा करत 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 तो गोळा काय होतो, गरंगळत खाली जात असतो आणि त्यावेळेस स्वतःचा भोवती एक मोठं आवरण तो बर्फाचं तयार करतो आणि तो छोटा असणारा जो काही क्रिकेटच्या बॉल एवढा तुम्ही तयार केलेला बॉल शेवटी तो अगदी मोठाच्या मोठा अवाढव्य होऊ शकतो. डिपेंड्स तो किती डीप पर्यंत तो रोल होतो आहे. ओके, तुम्ही कुठपर्यंत त्याचा ट्रेस करताय तोपर्यंत तुमचं सॅम्पलिंग युनिट तुम्हाला हवाय तोपर्यंत तुम्ही तो काय करायचा आहे, रोल करायचा किंवा सॅम्पलिंग ड्रॉ करायचा. अशा टाईपच्या सॅम्पलिंग मेथडला आपण काय म्हणतोय, स्नोबॉल सॅम्पलिंग. नेक्स्ट इज कोटा सॅम्पलिंग. In the quota sampling, a population is first segmented into mutually exclusive subgroups. In judgment, it is used to select a subject or units from each segment based on a specified proportion. For example, an interviewer may be told to sample 200 females and 300 males between the age of 45 to 60. This means that individuals can put demand on who they want to sample. This second step make a technique of non-probability sampling. For example, interviewers might be tempted to interview those people in the street who look most helpful, or may choose to use accidental sampling to question those closest to them to save time. म्हणजे काय, समजा एखाद्या फॅक्टरीमध्ये समजा 200 फिमेल वर्कर्स आहेत आणि 300 मेल वर्कर्स आहेत. ओके, आणि त्या 200 फिमेल वर्कर्स आणि 300 मेल वर्कर्स मध्ये तुम्हाला काही वर्कर्सना काय करायचंय, प्रमोशन द्यायचंय सपोज. ओके, एक्सक्यूज मी, सॉरी. सपोज यांना तुम्हाला प्रमोशन द्यायचंय तर तुम्ही रॅन्डमली त्या ठिकाणी कोणालाही प्रमोशन देणार नाही आहेत, बरोबर आहे. मग यावेळेस तुम्ही काय करणार, तर तुम्ही त्या ठिकाणी वेगवेगळ्या क्रायटेरियाज लावणार. मग तुम्ही तुमचा एज ग्रुपचा क्रायटेरिया लावू शकता किंवा तुम्ही त्यांचा एक्सपिरियन्सचा क्रायटेरिया लावू शकता, त्यांची इफिशियन्सीचा क्रायटेरिया लावू शकता. ऑन दॅट बेसिस किंवा त्यांच्या क्वालिफिकेशनचा क्रायटेरिया लावू शकता. त्यांच्या आता जॉईनिंग झाल्यापासून जेव्हा केव्हा ते जॉईन झाले आणि समजा 5 वर्षांची त्यांची सर्व्हिस झाली, 5 वर्षांच्या मध्ये त्यांच्या एक्सपिरियन्स मध्ये काय वाढ झालेली आहे, त्यांच्या क्वालिफिकेशन मध्ये काय वाढ झालेली आहे, आणि जर झालेली असेल तर त्याच्या बेसिसवरती तुम्ही काय करणार आहात, त्यांचं प्रमोशन करणार आहात. म्हणजे प्रमोशन कुणाला द्यायचं, तर हा तुम्ही एक कोटा म्हणजे तुम्ही त्या ठिकाणी समजा एक असं क्रायटेरिया फिक्स केलेला आहे की या क्रायटेरियामध्ये जे कोणी बसत असतील त्यांना तुम्ही काय करणार आहात, प्रमोशन देणार आहात. मग तुमचा क्रायटेरिया कुठला असू शकतो, या ठिकाणी काय लिहिलं आहे, एज ग्रुप 45 तुम्हाला काय करायचं त्या ठिकाणी प्रमोशन द्यायचं. किंवा एखाद्या असू शकतं की त्या ठिकाणी मॅक्सिमम 20 ते 25 वर्षांचा किंवा 10 ते 15 वर्षांचं ज्यांना वर्क एक्सपिरियन्स आहे तुमच्या फॅक्टरीमध्ये, तर त्यांना तुम्ही काय करणार आहात, त्या कोट्यामध्ये तुम्ही त्यांना काय करणार, प्रमोशन देणार. असं हे काय आहे, कोटा सॅम्पलिंगचं एक एक्झाम्पल होऊ शकतं. ओके, मग त्याच्यामध्ये पुन्हा मेल मेल किती मेलला द्यायचे, किती फिमेलला द्यायचे, त्याच्या तुम्ही कोटा. आता तुम्हाला या ठिकाणी कॅटेगरी वाईज ऍडमिशनच्या बाबतीत जरी म्हणालात तरी सुद्धा तुम्ही ते सुद्धा एक गुड एक्झाम्पल ऑफ वॉट, कोटा सॅम्पलिंग. ओके, आपल्या एखाद्या समजा TYBSc किंवा FYBSc ला जेव्हा तुम्ही ऍडमिशन साठी अप्लाय केलं, 12वीचा रिझल्ट लागल्यानंतर जेव्हा तुम्ही अप्लाय केलं FYBSc ला ऍडमिशन घेण्यासाठी, तर त्याच्यामध्ये SC कॅटेगरी, ST कॅटेगरी, OBC कॅटेगरी, SCBC होती पूर्वी, आता त्यावरती थोडा स्टे आलेला आहे. परंतु ह्या सगळ्या कॅटेगरी वाईज त्यांच्या काही नंबर ऑफ सीट्स रिझर्व्ड असतात. ओके, आणि त्याच्यामधून तुम्ही काय करता की वेगळ्या क्रायटेरिया, आता हे तर रिझर्व्ह सीटचा जो काही कॅटेगरी आहे हा कोटा तर फिक्स आहे, म्हणजे 120 पैकी किती विद्यार्थ्यांना, किती एससीच्या मुलांना त्या ठिकाणी रिझर्व्ह ठेवायच्या जागा, ओबीसीच्या किती विद्यार्थ्यांसाठी जागा रिझर्व्ह ठेवायच्या, नंतर एनटीच्या किती विद्यार्थ्यांना जागा रिझर्व्ह करायच्या, ह्या सगळ्या गव्हर्नमेंटने फिक्स केलेल्या आहेतच. पण त्याच्या व्यतिरिक्त कॉलेज काय करतं की त्यांचं मेरिट लावतं. मग मेरिटमध्ये सगळ्यात टॉपमध्ये, आता असं नाही किंवा एससीच्या समजा 50 विद्यार्थ्यांनी अप्लाय केलेलं आहे, एससीच्या 50 विद्यार्थ्यांपैकी समजा 10 जागा जर त्या ठिकाणी रिझर्व्ड असतील, तर मग त्या ठिकाणी रॅन्डमली कुठल्याही 10 विद्यार्थ्यांना त्या ठिकाणी नाही दिलं जात, बरोबर आहे. तर त्या ठिकाणी 50 विद्यार्थ्यांपैकी मेरिट लिस्ट लावले जाते आणि त्यामधल्या सगळ्यात टॉपचे जे 10 एससी कॅटेगरीचे स्टुडंट्स असतील तर त्यांना त्या कोटामध्ये त्यांना काय केलं जातं, ऍडमिशन दिलं जातं. पुन्हा नेक्स्ट एनटीच्या कॅटेगरीमध्ये जे काही स्टुडंट्स असतील त्यांच्यातला मेरिट लावून त्या ठिकाणी फर्स्ट जे काही जेवढे नंबर ऑफ स्टुडंटचं रिझर्वेशन असेल तेवढ्या स्टुडंट्सना त्या ठिकाणी एनटी कॅटेगरीमधून काय केलं जातं, ऍडमिशन दिलं जातं. ऍडमिशन दिलं जातं म्हणजेच काय, तर दॅट स्टुडंट हॅज सिलेक्टेड इन द सॅम्पल. Okay, so such a sample is sampling technique or method is called as what? Quota sampling. So these are the some methods of doing the or selecting the units in a sample. Okay, but while getting the while collecting the information, there are different ways of collecting the information. One is survey technique. Okay, survey research, a research method involving the use of standardized questionnaire or interviews to collect data about people and their performance and behavior in the systematic manner. This method has since become a very popular method for डिक्लेअर होतात. त्या दरम्यान काही त्या ठिकाणी इन्फॉर्मेशन कलेक्ट करण्यासाठी तुमच्याकडे लोक येत असतील किंवा काही एजन्सीची लोक येतात. आता सध्या कोरोनाच्या ह्याच्यामध्ये काही बऱ्याच ठिकाणी त्या ठिकाणी सर्व्हे करायला सांगितला जातो आणि त्या ठिकाणी सर्व्हे करत असताना तुमच्या फॅमिलीची इन्फॉर्मेशन कलेक्ट केली जाते की तुमच्या घरामध्ये किती नंबर ऑफ किती माणसं आहेत, त्यांचे एज ग्रुप काय आहे, कुणाला बीपीचा त्रास आहे का, शुगरचा त्रास आहे का, तुमच्यापैकी तुमच्या फॅमिलीमधले कोणी लॉंग जर्नी केलेली आहे का किंवा दुसऱ्या परदेशात जाऊन आलेले आहेत का, असे क्वेश्चन्सचे सर्व्हे यापूर्वी केलेले जायचे. सो दॅट इज व्हॉट सर्व्हे. अशा या सर्व्हे मधून काय केलं जातं, तर आपल्याला रिक्वायर्ड रिसर्च करण्यासाठी लागणारा जो काही डेटा आहे, ती इन्फॉर्मेशन आहे, ते आपण काय करतो, त्या क्वेश्चन्स मधून त्या फॅमिलीकडून, त्या फॅमिली मधल्या मेंबर्स कडून ती इन्फॉर्मेशन आपण कलेक्ट करतो. सो दॅट मेथड ऑर दॅट टेक्निक इज कॉल्ड एज व्हॉट, सर्व्हे मेथड. सर्वेज आर अन एक्सलंट व्हेकल for measuring a wide variety of unobservable data, such as people's preferences, example, political orientation, traits, self-esteem, attributes towards immigrants, belief about the new law, बिहेवियर. हे जे सर्वे केले जाते, सर्वे प्रत्येकाचे काही रिझन्स आहे वेगवेगळे. आजकाल सर्वांनी फेस केलेला सर्वेचं एक्झाम्पल मी दिलं, कोरोनाचा सर्वे केला जातो की कोणाकोणाच्या घरामध्ये काय काय सिम्पटम आहेत, त्याचा सर्वे हा आतापर्यंत जवळजवळ 2 ते 3 वेळा झालेला आहे. माझ्या स्वतः घरी आलेले म्हणून मी मला सांगतो. किंवा दुसरा सर्वे कशा टाईप असू शकतो, जेव्हा एखाद्या वेळेस इलेक्शन डिक्लेअर होते, इलेक्शन डिक्लेअर झाल्यानंतर त्या ठिकाणी एखाद्या दिवशी इलेक्शन होतात आणि त्याच्या दुसऱ्या दिवशी किंवा त्याच्या 2-3 दिवसानंतर मतमोजणी असते आणि नंतर त्यांचे रिझल्ट डिक्लेअर होतात. परंतु त्याच्या पूर्वी न्यूज जर तुम्ही ऐकत असाल, बघत असाल, तर त्याच्यावरती एक्झिट पोल म्हणून एक न्यूज मध्ये त्या ठिकाणी सांगितलं जातं की अशा पद्धतीने काही स्टडी केला गेला आणि त्या स्टडीमध्ये असं दिसलेलं आहे की बीजेपीला एवढे सीट्स येतील, एनसीपीला एवढे येतील, काँग्रेसला एवढे येतील किंवा मनसेला एवढे येतील, शिवसेनेला एवढे येतील, असे सीट्स हे पूर्वी मतमोजणीच्या सुरुवातीला सांगितलं जातं. ते एक्झिट पोल हे कुठून येतात, तर हा सर्व्हे केला जातो. ओके, ज्या वेळेस तुम्ही वोटिंगला जाता त्यावेळेस तुम्हाला त्या ठिकाणी काही एजन्सीजची लोक असतात जिथे त्या ठिकाणी तुम्हाला काही क्वेश्चन्स विचारतात आणि त्या क्वेश्चन्स मध्ये तुम्हाला डायरेक्टली कोणी विचारणार नाही की तुम्ही कोणत्या पक्षाला मत दिलेलं आहे. अशा पद्धतीने काही क्वेश्चन्स विचारले जातात की त्यावरून तुमचं बिलिंग कुठल्या पक्षाकडे आहे त्याच्या इन्फॉर्मेशनवरून आपण काय केलं जातं की त्या ठिकाणी कुठल्या पक्ष, आणि हे काय प्रत्येक इच अँड एखाद्या वोटिंग बूथवरती प्रत्येक वोटर्सला त्या ठिकाणी विचारलं जात नाही, रॅन्डमली कुठल्याही एखाद्या त्या ठिकाणी कन्व्हिनियन्स सॅम्पलिंगचं एक्झाम्पल आपल्याला उपयोगी पडू शकतं. ओके, तर त्या ठिकाणी त्यांना विचारलं जातं आणि त्यावरून आपण काय करतो, एक्झिट पोलचा यूज त्या ठिकाणी वापरला जातो. आता जर त्या ठिकाणी जर तुम्ही एक साधारण 15-20 दिवसांपूर्वीचीच न्यूज होती की भारतीयांमध्ये आता सध्या जवळजवळ 68% भारतीयांच्या मध्ये अँटीबॉडीज तयार झालेल्या आहेत. ओके, अजून जर तुम्ही पाहिलं संपूर्ण भारतामध्ये जर तुम्ही लसीकरण किती झालेलं आहे असं जर तुम्ही आता जर जस्ट न्यूजवरती जरी चेक केलं किंवा गुगलवरती टेस्ट केलं तर पर्सेंटेजच्या भाषेमध्ये जर बोलायचं झालं तर 3 ते 4%, 5% ऍट मॅक्स आपण म्हणूया, 5% पर्यंत तर नाहीच आहे, पण तरी समजा 5% पर्यंत जर झालं आहे कशाचं वॅक्सिनेशन झालेलं आहे, 5% पॉप्युलेशन, कम्प्लीट पॉप्युलेशन पैकी 5% लोकांचं या ठिकाणी काय झालेलं वॅक्सिनेशन झालेलं आहे. असं जर गव्हर्नमेंटचा जर क्लेम असेल तर एका एजन्सीने टेस्ट केलेल्याचा रिझल्ट असा होता की 68% लोकांमध्ये, भारतातील कमीत कमी 68% लोकांमध्ये अँटीबॉडीज, कोरोनाला डिफेंड करण्यासाठीच्या जे काही लागणाऱ्या अँटीबॉडीज आहेत ते तयार झालेले आहेत ऑटोमॅटिक बॉडीज मध्ये. हे टेस्ट केलं गेलेलं आहे. ओके, आणि त्याच्यामध्ये ह्या सॅम्पलिंग आतापर्यंत आपण जेवढ्या काही सॅम्पलिंग टेक्निक्स पाहिलेल्या आहेत त्या सॅम्पलिंग टेक्निक्सचा यूज करून, त्याचा सर्वे करून त्या ठिकाणी हे कन्क्लुजन काढलेलं आहे की 68%. आता ही जर तुम्ही न्यूज ऐकली असेल तर त्याच्यामध्ये तुम्हाला त्या ठिकाणी त्यांनी कशा पद्धतीने सॅम्पलिंग टेक्निक यूज केलं ते सांगितलं होतं. ओके, तेच मी तुम्हाला या ठिकाणी एक एक्झाम्पल म्हणून या ठिकाणी सांगतो आणि या ठिकाणी सर्वेचा जो काय हा पॉइंट आहे त्या ठिकाणी मी इथे कंप्लीट करतो. सर्वेचे या ठिकाणी 2 प्रकार मी या ठिकाणी सांगतोय. या ठिकाणी एक क्वेश्चनर सर्वे आणि एक इंटरव्ह्यू सर्वे. त्या इंटरव्ह्यू असेल किंवा क्वेश्चनर मध्ये असेल तर त्या ठिकाणी तुम्हाला सर्वे करणारा जो कोणी आहे त्याला जे काही इन्फॉर्मेशन तुमच्याकडून कलेक्ट करायची आहे ती इन्फॉर्मेशन कलेक्ट केली जाते. मग तो इंटरव्ह्यू मेथडने तुम्ही कलेक्ट करू शकता किंवा एखादा क्वेश्चन पेपर आपण म्हणूयात, एमसीक्यू टाईपचा क्वेश्चन पेपर असतो जनरली काही वेळेस त्या ठिकाणी तुम्हाला थोडंफार लॉंग आन्सर्स मध्ये 2-3 लाईन्स मध्ये उत्तर लिहिणं अपेक्षित असणारे काही क्वेश्चन्स असतात आणि त्याच्या थ्रू तुमचे काय केले जाते, तुमच्याकडून ती इन्फॉर्मेशन कलेक्ट केली जाते. सो दिस इज व्हॉट सर्वे मेथडचे ह्या 2 मेथड्स आहेत, एक क्वेश्चनर मेथड आणि इंटरव्ह्यू मेथड मध्ये. ओके, आता जसं मी तुम्हाला एक्झाम्पल सांगितलं की 68% लोकांच्या बॉडीमध्ये अँटीबॉडीज तयार झालेल्या आहेत कोरोनाला डिफेंड करण्यासाठीच्या. तर त्यासाठीची जे सॅम्पलिंग टेक्निक यूज केली होती तर त्याच्यामध्ये पहिल्यांदा त्यांनी क्लस्टर सॅम्पलिंग, मल्टीस्टेज सॅम्पलिंग वापरलेली आहे. मल्टीस्टेज मध्ये त्या ठिकाणी फक्त एकच आतापर्यंत मी पाहिलेल्यापैकी कुठला तरी एक रॅन्डमली सिलेक्ट केलेलं रॅन्डम सॅम्पलिंग न करता त्याच्यामध्ये 2-3 प्रकारचं सॅम्पलिंग वापरलं जातं. ओके, तर आपल्या भारतामध्ये आता जेवढे काही राज्य आहेत तर त्यामध्ये प्रत्येक राज्यांना एक क्लस्टर म्हणून जर कन्सिडर केलं तर त्या राज्यांपैकी कुठला तरी एक राज्य किंवा काही 5 ते 6 राज्य त्यांनी काय केले, रॅन्डमली सिलेक्ट केले. भारतातले काही 5 ते 6 राज्य त्यांनी काय केले, रॅन्डमली सिलेक्ट केले. ओके, त्यांनी त्यासाठी काय केलं की आपल्याकडे समजा जेवढे काही राज्य असतील त्यांची लिस्ट तयार केली. त्या लिस्टमध्ये त्यांना प्रत्येक राज्यांना नंबरिंग दिलं, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 असे समजा 36 आहेत. ओके, तर त्या 36 मधून कुठलेही रॅन्डमली 5 रॅन्डम नंबर काढले. ओके, मग 5 रॅन्डम नंबर कदाचित 22 असेल, 36 असेल, 5 असेल, 10 असेल, 15 असेल. मग त्या नंबरची रिलेटेड असणारे कुठले राज्य असतील तर ते राज्य त्यांनी सिलेक्ट केले. मग त्या राज्यांमध्ये पुन्हा त्यांनी काय केले, डिस्ट्रिक्ट. ओके, त्या डिस्ट्रिक्ट मधून काही तालुका, त्या तालुकांमधून पुन्हा काही विलेज, त्या विलेज मधून काही फॅमिलीज मधून काही रॅन्डमली पर्सन्स, असे स्टेप बाय स्टेप त्यांनी काय केलेले आहेत पद्धतीने, सिस्टमॅटिक पद्धतीने त्यांनी रॅन्डम सॅम्पल सिलेक्ट केले आणि त्यांना साधारण 70 ते 80 हजार काहीतरी त्यांनी पॉप्युलेशन, एवढ्या संपूर्ण भारताच्या पॉप्युलेशन मधून 70,000 माणसांचा त्या ठिकाणी स्टडी केला आणि मग त्यांच्या बॉडीज मधलं काही ब्लड टेस्ट करून त्यांच्या बॉडीमध्ये अँटीबॉडीज तयार झालेल्या आहेत का ह्या टेस्ट केल्यानंतर त्यांना साधारण असं दिसून आलं की त्या ठिकाणी त्यांनी कलेक्ट केलेल्या 70,000 सॅम्पल युनिट मधून 68% लोकांच्या बॉडीमध्ये अँटीबॉडीज तयार झालेल्या आहेत. म्हणजे याचं कन्क्लुजन पॉझिटिव्हली आपण कसं घ्यायचं, तर याचा अर्थ की अजून जर आपण वॅक्सिनेशन जर आणखीन वेगाने केलं आणि त्याच्यामुळे जर अँटीबॉडी जर जास्त तयार झाल्या, तर आता जी काही येणारी थर्ड वेव आहे म्हणतात, तिसरी लाट कोरोनाची, तर ती त्याला आपण सामोरे जाण्यासाठी आपल्याकडे अँटीबॉडीज आहेत आणि आपण तेवढ्या त्याला सक्सेसफुली डिफेंड करू शकतो. हे स्टॅटिस्टिकल स्टडी वरून आलेलं कन्क्लुजन आहे. अर्थात इट इज टोटली डिपेंडिंग ऑन व्हॉट रॅन्डम सॅम्पलिंग टेक्निक. ओके, तर त्यामुळे या ठिकाणी हा एक पॉझिटिव्ह सिग्नल या ठिकाणी त्या एजन्सीने दिलेला होता. आता या सगळ्या डेटा तुमच्याकडे मिळाला, त्याचं कलेक्शन केलं, हे सगळं केल्यानंतर ह्याचं अनालिसिस कसं करायचं, तर त्याच्यासाठी स्टॅटिस्टिक्समध्ये बरेचसे टेक्निक्स आहेत. आणि ह्या टेक्निक्स तुमच्या या आता रिसर्च मेथॉडॉलॉजीच्या काही वेगवेगळ्या लेक्चर्समध्ये हे टेक्निक्स, बरेचसे टेक्निक्स तुमच्या या ठिकाणी डिस्कस होतील. मी फक्त या ठिकाणी टेक्निक्सची नावं त्या ठिकाणी डिस्प्ले करतोय. मी या ठिकाणी या टेक्निक्सच्या डिटेल्समध्ये जात नाहीये. एकतरी एक्सप्लोरेटरी अनालिसिस तुम्ही करू शकता, डिस्क्रिप्टिव्ह स्टॅटिस्टिक्स तुम्ही करू शकता, रिग्रेशन अनालिसिस, टेस्टिंग ऑफ हायपोथेसिस, टाइम सिरीज अनालिसिस, डिझाइन ऑफ एक्सपेरिमेंट, स्टॅटिस्टिकल प्रोसेस कंट्रोल, रिलायबिलिटी अँड सर्वे अनालिसिस अँड मेनी मोर, असे वेगवेगळे टाईपने तुम्ही डेटा अनालिसिस करून तुम्ही तुमचं कलेक्ट केलेल्या डेटावरून तुम्ही कम्प्लीट पॉप्युलेशनच्या बद्दल रिझल्ट किंवा इन्फरन्स तुम्ही ड्रॉ करू शकता.